160 people across Britain drown each year in open water. That equates to 3 people every week. People who perhaps didn't realise the dangers and paid the ultimate price. In Sunderland over the past 6 years, 15 people have drowned after getting into difficulties in the water. People like Chloe Fowler and Tony Beth Purvis. 2 young teenage girls who tragically lost their lives in a stretch of the River Wear, close to Fatfield in Washington, on a warm summer's day in 2013. What began as an afternoon with friends playing about by the river ended in tragedy. A day none of those who were there or knew and loved the girls will ever forget.
She was a very popular person.
She was just probably the loveliest person out of us, do you know what I mean?
She was nice to be around, always had a smile on her face.
It's just hard to know all the plans she had for life and that we'd speak about doing, we'll be going to
girl
college and going to girl
holidays
and that, and it's just heartbreaking really.
It's not fair, it's not right at all. And still to this day it's heartbreaking.
Tragically, accidents happen, but there are things we can all do to reduce the chances of them claiming a life. Strong partnerships have been formed in Sunderland between Sunderland City Council and the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, Royal Life Saving Society and the Amateur Swimming Association to help make us all safer around water.
The water patrol, it's provided by the Port of Sunderland, and what we do is we patrol the river, the entrance to the river, basically from the 2 piers all the way up to Fatfield. Try to inform and educate people with regard to the safety messages and also make sure that they stick to the rules of the river.
The dangers are quite difficult to see unless you know what you're looking for. The main dangers would be currents are very difficult to spot, the water is always moving and people go into the water, it might be very difficult to get back out where you got in, so you may drift downstream in a river or out to sea. Also cold water, you can't really see how cold the water is, but never really gets any warmer than 12 degrees Celsius. The effect it has on the body, much harder to swim, and if you get too close to the edge you might slip, trip, fall into the water, and then you're going to have to try and swim in all your clothes.
While it's good to know that help and assistance is available, each of us also needs to do our bit by being more aware of the risks around water.
Everybody was going down there thinking it was fun because it was summer, thinking it was something to do, all jumping the river, people were doing flips and everything, just jumping off high bits and everything, just anywhere they could really.
It's what everyone really did. The in thing at that time was to go down to Fatfield River and jump in for the crack. It really was just innocent fun, just something to do.
Obviously Chloe's went in because loads of people was going in but she couldn't swim. But obviously because there was people around her she thought she would be okay. And then Tony Beth, a girl she knew, she jumped in after her and then obviously the same happened to her. And she thought, well, if everyone else is alright, I'll be alright. I've got people here to help us. But obviously it was a case of just all so quick really. And
I actually went down to the river and I stayed there until Chloe was found. And I just didn't believe it at all.
Every one of us needs to understand the possible dangers along our rivers and coastline, and where better to start than in our schools.
The RNLI is working with Together Sunderland to go into local primary schools, educating children about water safety, what safety signs mean, the flag systems, what to do if you were to get into trouble, and also about the importance of always going together and being with friends and the ability to call for help if something does go wrong.
An accident could happen in water at any time. A lot of people who get into trouble weren't even expecting to get wet, so they need to be able to know how they can stay safe and what they could do to help somebody else out who's in trouble in the water.
We want to try and make sure that the kids know where they can go and get some help and know that they actually can get help in other places as well.
I liked it when everyone was holding up the flags and they were giving you a full explanation on what the flags are for.
You should always tell your parents where you're going before you go to the sea or whatever you're going to do, and you should always take your phone with you.
Never go in to try and help your friends because you don't want to get yourself hurt.
You should never play dangerous games like jumping off cliffs and things like that when there isn't a lifeguard around.
I think they're very courageous because
They're giving up their time to help other people. They don't really have to do it.
Getting the message across about water safety is one of the most important ways to help reduce the risk of more tragedies in and around open water.
How would you feel if someone so special and amazing was taken away from you? How would you feel?
It's really important that people know the dangers of water and rivers, because at the end of the day it can end lives.
We don't want any more deaths in the River Wear.
We don't want other people to go through the experience we went through.
We don't want other people to feel how all of us have felt about losing two of our friends.
Open water can be dangerous, but it also can be fun as well if we choose the correct places to go, and it can be safe.
We're not there to stop fun, we're there to just make sure that people are safe while they enjoy a fantastic river and the water that we have around Sunderland. We are lucky with the environment we've got. We just want people to be safe in that environment.
While organisations like the RNLI and RLSS are there to advise and help us, the only person who can keep you safe around water is you.